let's talk about something that's quietly killing your company's profits. And no, it's not the price you negotiated. It's the sneaky fine print, the clauses buried deep in your contracts that drain your budget long after you've shaken hands on a deal. Today, we're going to drag those hidden profit killers out into the light. And this is so true. Bad contract clauses are a massive hidden risk, costing companies millions. So we're going to break down 6 of the absolute worst offenders, and more importantly, I'm going to show you exactly how top sourcing leaders rewrite them to protect their bottom line. Let's dive in. First up, clause number 1. I call this one the silent trap. We're talking about auto-renew clauses. Oh yeah, suppliers love this one. It's their favorite tool for locking in revenue with almost no effort. And believe me, it catches even the sharpest teams off guard. You see this all the time, right? It looks so harmless, so standard. But it's built on one simple, powerful bet: that your team will get busy and completely forget about that deadline. And when they do, boom, the contract rolls over, usually at the same old high price. You've just lost all your leverage to renegotiate or find a better deal. You're stuck. But here's how you fix it. The smarter rewrite completely flips the power dynamic. Instead of being automatic, you change the language to say the contract renews only when both sides agree to it in writing. You also force the supplier to notify you 120 days out with their new pricing proposal. See what that does? It puts the ball back in your court. The control is yours again. So let's be crystal clear about the lesson here. Auto-renewal clauses are designed to help the supplier's revenue stream, period. They are not there for you. Why does this matter? Because taking a few minutes to rewrite this one little clause means you never, ever lose control of your spend or miss a critical chance to get a better deal. All right, moving on to clause number 2. This is where your margins just slowly bleed out over time. We're talking about those ambiguous price escalation clauses. This is how a deal that looked great on day 1 becomes a total budget wrecker by year 3. And here is the trap. You see language like this: based on market conditions, or at supplier discretion. What do those words even mean? They're so vague. It's basically handing your supplier a blank check to jack up your prices whenever they feel like it, with zero real justification. So what do the pros do? They get specific. Their rewrite is all about accountability. You cap the annual increase at a hard number, say 3%, or a recognized index like the Consumer Price Index, whichever is lower. And you require written justification. This ties any price hike to reality, not to their revenue goals. And if you're wondering how much this really matters, look at this. It's not uncommon for long-term contracts with these uncapped clauses to blow their budgets by 15 to 25%. That's not a small leak. That's a massive hole in your resources that absolutely destroys any hope of predictable spending. Okay, clause number 3. The spend guarantee. You'll also see this called minimum commitment obligations. And let me tell you, this is the supplier's secret weapon for guaranteeing their revenue, no matter what happens to your business. This kind of clause just locks you in. We all know business is unpredictable, right? Demand goes up, demand goes down. Well, if your demand for a product suddenly drops, this clause means you're still on the hook, paying for something you no longer need. All the risk, it's been transferred from them straight onto your shoulders. The smart rewrite is all about protecting your flexibility. It explicitly says that any forecasts you provide are just that, non-binding estimates. Then you agree to review actual commitments quarterly, adjusting them based on real business needs. You're aligning your spending with reality, not with a guess you made a year ago. This really comes down to a crucial mindset shift. You should never lock future uncertainty into guaranteed spend. It's just a bad bet. Why? Because it creates massive financial risk. Building flexibility into your contracts is what protects your cash flow, plain and simple. Next up, let's talk about the empty promise of best effort service level agreements, or SLAs. Honestly, this might be one of the most common and completely meaningless phrases in any service contract. It offers you exactly zero real protection. I mean, it sounds cooperative, doesn't it? Best efforts. But here's the problem. It's completely unenforceable. How do you prove in court that someone didn't use their best effort? You can't. It's a legal fluff that delivers absolutely nothing of substance when things go wrong. So what do? You replace the vague words with hard numbers. A strong SLA doesn't say best efforts, it says 99.95% uptime. It says a 2-hour response time. And, this is the key part, It attaches a service credit or a financial penalty if they miss those numbers. That is real accountability. The principle here is one you should write down and stick on your monitor. If you can't measure it, you can't enforce it. It's that simple. And this matters a ton because an unenforceable SLA exposes you to huge operational risks. Measurable SLAs ensure you actually get the service you're paying for. Okay, on to number 5. This one's called the unfair exit. Think of it like a one-way door in your contract. It gives the supplier an easy way to walk out whenever they want while leaving you trapped inside. Just look at the imbalance here. The supplier can terminate for convenience, which means for any reason at all or no reason. But you, the customer, can only terminate for cause, meaning you have to prove they had a major screw-up. This creates a huge, unfair business risk for you. The fair rewrite makes termination rights mutual. Either party can terminate for convenience with reasonable notice. But here's the absolutely critical addition. You must include a clause that mandates transition assistance at no extra cost. This prevents the supplier from holding your data or your operations hostage when you're trying to leave. And that brings us to our last trap, number 6, the surprise bill. You know what I'm talking about. The deal is signed, everyone's happy, and then bam! The extra charges start rolling in and your budget gets completely torched. Yeah, these costs are almost never in the initial quotes. You get hit with onboarding fees, integration charges, and consultant hours that seem to go on forever. And don't think for a second these are surprises to the supplier. For many, it's a planned part of their revenue model. For you, it's a margin killer. The solution is simple, but you have to be disciplined. Get everything priced up front. Your rewritten clause should state that all implementation, integration, and onboarding costs are included in the agreed-upon price. Any changes require a formal change order with fixed pricing and a clear timeline. The rule is no surprises allowed. So we've just covered 6 really specific tactical fixes you can make today. But let's zoom out, because what really separates an average buyer from a truly strategic leader isn't just the tactics. It's a fundamental mindset shift. It's about moving from just chasing discounts to actually building predictable value. Just look at the difference here. On the left, you see how most buyers operate. They chase the lowest price, they ignore the fine print on escalation, and they accept vague SLAs because it's easier. But on the right, that's the high performers playbook. They negotiate for total value over the entire life of the contract. They demand measurable performance, and they rewrite clauses to protect against risk. And it all boils down to this single idea. A contract isn't just paperwork. It's a profit protection system. Focusing only on getting a cheap price is a recipe for expensive problems later. A well-designed contract is your best tool for creating predictable, stable value for your business. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. Are your current contracts actively protecting your profit, or are they ticking time bombs, just silently creating expensive problems for the future? In our next explainer, I'll walk you through a real-world contract review checklist you can use before you sign anything. You won't want to miss it. Thanks for your time.